So this one's a bit of a surprise. What I have in the box here is the ASUS Chromebook Flip C433. If you're not familiar, this device showed up a few months ago. We found early traces of it and have been kind of trying to figure out exactly where this thing is going to slot itself in ASUS's current lineup of Chromebooks. And then a couple weeks ago, it got its official announcement and it became available in the UK only at first, with a promise of US availability sometime in later October. Well, ASUS has made good on that claim, sort of, because this device isn't actually available anywhere just yet. But after we unbox it, I'll tell you where you can get your hands on it if you're eagerly awaiting getting it right now. But before we get into all of that, this video is brought to you by NordVPN, and they're the VPN of choice for ASUS Chromebook users or Windows users, MacBook users, iOS, Android, you name it. They keep your browsing secure and safe whether you're at home or on the go. If you'd like to learn more about them and what they do, go to chromeunbox.com/NordVPN to learn more and get started today. All right, so let's dig into this thing. And again, this Chromebook is a bit of a mystery. So it's 433 is just one number less than 434. And we've had the C434 around since, I don't know, March or something like that of 2019. And we actually saw it at CES all the way back almost a year ago. And so we're not sure where this thing's going to slot itself. I can tell you we paid $499 for this from Best Buy, and I'm going to explain a little bit later about how you could go about getting one if you choose to get one, at this point in time anyway. And $499 is a weird price for this too, because that's really close to the price for the 434. So we're not even sure where this thing is going to fit in the whole lineup, but we wanted to get our hands on it because no one's really got this thing unboxed. No one's gotten their hands on it yet in the United States. And so when we saw the opportunity, we jumped at it. So my job here is going to be like it used to be way back in the day before we saw things at shows and looked at Chromebooks and got stuff sent to us beforehand and all that stuff. This is straight up old school Chrome Unboxed here. I haven't seen this device. We've only seen pictures of it. I haven't actually had it or gotten any prior knowledge on it. So I'm seeing this the same time you are. Yeah, nothing here. Funny, I spoke about this earlier in the Pixelbook Go unboxing, like it was this nice, well-packaged thing. You know, this is pretty standard Chromebook fare here. One-piece charger, USB Type-C, nothing surprising there. Nothing else really in the box here. Pretty standard ASUS fare, but you didn't come here for the box because Chromebook boxes in general are boring. You came here for this. So, the 433, what's unique about this? Handful of things. One is this super square design. So again, I'm seeing this for the first time, feeling it for the first time. So at least the outer parts here, 99.99% aluminum because they're cold. Plastic doesn't hold that kind of coolness. We were skeptical, honestly, because we're just not sure exactly where this thing was going to come in. But it feels a little more like the C432 that came out a couple years ago, and this nice boxy design, which makes for a better tablet experience if you're going to put a 16:9 14-inch device into tablet mode. I don't do that very often, but it does feel a little more, you know, I don't know, modern maybe, because of those squarish edges. And what you also get are the speaker grills on the sides, which we really like that with the C302. It gave it this really nice wide stereo sound, and my hope is with the great speakers that are in the 425 and the 434 that are very similar to this device, that we're gonna get that kind of nice sound, but a good stereo separation, and they're not gonna be firing down at the desk. All right, so I can tell you, I mean, it's substantial feeling. Around the sides, we have the same ports that we've had on these other kind of sister brother devices, USB Type A, USB Type C. We have a volume rocker, a power button, headphone microphone jack, and then on the other side, we have just the single USB-C and a micro SD card slot. So let's look around the bottom real quick. Yep, just feet down there. This is a Core M3 processor, so there is no need for any fans or anything like that on this. Wow, that's like magneted closed. And again, you get that nice little ergo lift that they have. You can see that just ever so slightly lifts up the bottom of the device. Does it make a huge difference when you're typing with the 434? Not really, to be honest with you. And I can tell you already, putting my palm on this versus putting my palm down here, That's plastic. So ASUS did say, you know, aluminum chassis. They didn't say all aluminum chassis. They just said aluminum. So you're getting a lid and a bottom piece that are aluminum here with this one. Keyboard deck is decidedly plastic. So again, you need to know these things going in, especially when ASUS has so many devices that are so similar to one another. Keyboard is the same keyboard that we get in the 425 and the 434, which is an excellent thing. It is one of my favorite keyboards. I was saying it was my favorite keyboard. I've had to go back to the Pixelbook Go now. Pixelbook Go's keyboard is just outstanding. But this would be a very close second. These keys feel great. Travel feels good. Click feels good. Very quiet. They are backlit. Feels like the same material on the trackpad as well. But a nice click. Nothing loud or out of control. But I can tell you what, just pushing on the deck of this thing, definitely plastic and definitely a tad bit flimsy. That's kind of a bummer. Not a deal breaker, anything like that, but I just wish they would have put aluminum here on the top. All right, so we've got this thing powered on now, and one of the main things I wanted to look at was the screen, because we read reports that the color gamut was not going to be as good. No reports about the brightness, so kind of wanted to get our eyes on it. I can tell you the colors look pretty good. The viewing angles are pretty good. I don't think it's as bright as the C434. We'll test it obviously and put it up against it, but the 434 has a nearly 300 nit screen, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. So I would guess this one's somewhere in the low 200s or something like that, if I'm just guessing off the top of my head. And you know, it's got that thin bezel look to it, which is kind of cool. It's a neat look. It's kind of ASUS's signature look at this point for its Chromebook family. So it retains that. It retains kind of that hinge that tucks itself underneath so that it kind of hides some of that bezel. There's a strange, like, shiny metal underneath on that part of the bezel. Looks a little weird. Again, I don't understand this device completely right now. But yeah, front-facing camera up there, hidden in that small bezel, and overall the screen looks passable. Again, good viewing angles and colors. They're probably not going to stand up when we put it up against some other Chromebooks in a similar price category, but in general, it's a touchscreen, obviously, because it is a convertible. And while I don't care for using 16:9 tablets, I think they're just kind of awkward feeling. You know, especially if you hold them up like this, it's kind of strange. But in general, you can use it as a tablet if you need to. I think the more useful version for these is to use them in this presentation mode. So if you're showing something, you're displaying something, you can just kind of have this thing up here. The keyboard's out of the way. If you're watching a movie, this one's still going to get you side-firing speakers, so you don't have to worry about whatever orientation it's in. You're going to hear the speakers just fine. Or it's nice if you're playing a game. It's got on-screen controls. It lets all the weight of the device sit on your lap or somewhere else. You're not holding it up, and you can just get your thumbs on there and play a game. So there's some benefits for sure for converting form factor, and you know, ASUS has done a really good job over the last few years creating good hinges that are firm. Like, this thing doesn't feel like it's wobbling all over the place, and it feels nice, and it's nice to have that option. It's one thing a lot of people are knocking the new Pixelbook Go on, is that it doesn't have a convertible form factor, and so you go back and forth on whether or not you need that in your life, but if you do, this is another convertible you have to choose from. One of the other things we wanted to test was the speakers, and so with these side-firing speakers, the good speakers we've seen on these other ASUS devices, we wanted to give them a go, so we're queuing up a video of ours to just hear what this intro music sounds like. Here it is, guys, the Pixelbook Go. It is here in the office, and we are going. Yeah, I mean, impressive. I mean, they sound great. The stereo separation sounds really good. It's handling some low tones really nicely. Highs are nice and crisp. Spoken word stuff sounds good. So, you know, if this is a device you're looking at to get to watch movies, videos, that kind of stuff on, I think it's going to hold up pretty well in that regard. So, in general, I like what I'm seeing here. I'm a little confused by a handful of things, like the plastic around the keyboard is a little confusing. The price, $499, is a little confusing. And if you're looking at this and going, you know, I don't care about plastic on the keyboard deck, or, you know, this, I love the way this thing looks. I like the squared kind of look of this thing versus the C434's look. Then I can tell you, if you want to go get this thing, if you go to a Best Buy that has it, apparently a ton of Best Buys actually have them in stock. Go to the Best Buy, tell them you want the ASUS Chromebook Flip C433. They're going to look on their app and tell you that they can't find it. Tell them it's there, it's in store. They need to look on their in-store inventory, and likely they'll find it and they'll sell it to you. They'll sell it to you for $499. And I can tell you right now at this moment, without spending any more time with this device, I would hesitate towards spending that kind of money. At least wait for us to get our review together and hear all about the ups and downs of this device. But just feeling this device right now at $499, it feels like it would make a lot more sense to pay $50 or $60 and just get the all aluminum C434 that has the exact same internal layout. I don't really know what benefit you're getting by going with this particular Chromebook at this point. Again, some of that stuff could change in the review, and I might change my mind on some things, but I don't think $499 is the right price, and it probably won't stay at that price. It'll probably be like the 425 launch, and then a few weeks later, drop by $50 or $100. And again, price informs what you want to do with a Chromebook. And I think if it gets down into that price range, I might be a little bit more lenient on it, but we won't know until the review. So if you're not subscribed, make sure and get down there and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted when we do review this device, when we review the Pixelbook Go, when we review all the other Chromebooks that are coming in this season. And also, if this has helped you out in any way, shape, or form, please give it a thumbs up. And that's it for this one. Until next time, we'll see you.